Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to CageZilla 50 here in Ashburn, Virginia, live from the Silver Eagle Group, sponsored tonight by GoSports.com. Make sure you guys tune us in. Our next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is coming right up. Let's throw it up to Chris so we can get the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next bout. Making his way to the ring and fighting out of the red corner, it's Breaghan Whittingham.
Breaghan Whittingham, ladies and gentlemen, stands 5'10", 135. He's 22 years of age, fighting out of Disciple MMA out of Sterling, Virginia. His record is 3-1, CD. This looks like a good kid. And we saw him fight before. He's lost a couple here, or excuse me, he's lost one, but we've seen him a couple other times.
You know, Breaghan's another one who moves very well as an amateur. He changes levels, he punches into his takedowns, and he has very good control. You know, when we saw his last fight, it was a barn burner, and he was going at a high pace. Both guys were going at a high pace, and there was a transition, and he ended up in a choke. It was not at all to his discredit. It was an excellent fight, and I'm sure he learned a lot from it. And in the amateur levels, those are the types of losses you want. You don't want the losses where you get starched or you don't learn anything. But in a fight like that, he knew he did a lot right, and he learned that there's a lot he could fix. And I'm really interested to see if he came and makes those adjustments moving forward.
And the guys out of Disciple MMA are the truth. I mean, Disciple MMA in the CageZilla world has been around since the inception of this. And those guys are the truth when I tell you that. So if you were fighting out of that camp like Breaghan is, I mean, you are ready to fight. You're not coming in here like you were fighting out of somebody's garage and you had a heavy bag hanging from the rafters.
Right, exactly. Look, Disciple MMA is one of the best gyms in the area. They put out multiple professionals. They put out high-level amateurs. And I see Breaghan being no different than the rest of them.
Breaghan getting checked out by Joey Miller here, just to make sure he's okay. Now, some of the guys have different rituals about how they get checked out. Of course, it takes some of them longer because they wear different attire out in their walkout. But Breaghan's making his way up into the cage, and we'll throw it right back up to Chris Fuller.
And his opponent, making his way to the ring and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Johnnie Lee.
Johnnie Lee, 5'11", 135, out of Royale Martial Arts in Waldorf, Maryland. Came all the way down with a record of 0-1, CD.
You know, Johnnie Lee lost his first fight. It was his debut fight, and he felt like he was just a little small for the weight class. He ended up making some changes. He cleaned up his diet. He worked out a little bit differently, and now he's coming in at 135 at Bantamweight. And I think this is going to be a little bit better fit for him. He won't be as out-muscled, and I think that when it comes to the grappling, that'll really help him, especially as he continues to develop the technicalities of his game.
You bring up something that a lot of fighters really don't talk about a whole lot, and it's the diet and how much that affects you, and then the weigh-ins and having to lose weight and cut weight. We've talked about this before, but maybe tell the people at home about how tough that is throughout the 2 months, 3 months that you're training for this fight.
No, absolutely. So, you know, the majority of hard weight cuts, the weight you lose happens in really the last 2 weeks. You clean up your diet, you eliminate sugars, you eliminate any carbohydrates, right? And you start eating real lean and real boring and everything, nothing has any taste. But the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Sounds like exactly what I want to do.
Well, I'll tell you what, the last 2 weeks are the most dangerous because that's typically when you have the hardest training right before you taper off for the fight. And you're also cutting the most calories. So you're training the hardest, but cutting the most calories, and that's a recipe for disaster because you're going to have no energy, your recovery is going to be limited, and it's miserable in every facet of the game. As you get closer and you start going through the dehydration, which is now you water load, so you get your body used to taking in a lot of water and filtering it out, and then you cut that water, your body just gets rid of everything it has. And then you go into saunas and you're sweating and you're using heat, and you know, you get to a point where you're getting your body as close to death as possible.
I was getting ready to say dangerous.
Yes.
Like I've seen the special reports that 60 Minutes has done and Real Sports have done about guys who cut weight and try to cut it too fast. We see the guys out there running around in the silver trash bags trying to lose that weight. And I'm like, those guys are going to keel over. They're trying to lose 30 pounds in 5 days. And that's like going on Naked and Afraid for 3 weeks long.
Oh, it's terrible. Listen, the most dangerous part of the fight game isn't the fight. It's the preparation. And the weight cut is the #1 issue I have in the sport.
All right, let's throw it back up to Chris Fuller.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the CageZilla Bantamweight division. Starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'9", weighing in at 135 pounds, and fighting out of Disciple MMA with a record of 3 wins and only 1 loss. It's Breaghan Whittingham!
Whittington, 5'10", 135, 22 years of age with a record of 3-1.
And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'11" and weighing in at 135 pounds, fighting out of Royal Martial Arts, it's Johnnie Lee!
Lee stands 5'11", 135 with a record of 0-1 out of Royal Martial Arts.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and your referee is Michael Dolman.
Referee for this event is Michael Dolman, ladies and gentlemen. This fight is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds as we get the cages all locked up. He checks with both fighters, he checks the judges, and here we go right back out to the middle of the logo on the CageZilla. Whoa, little slip there from Breaghan.
Now, Johnny's got to be a little careful. He's big leg kick landed there.
Oh, my gosh, he
right
caught
as
him with
Breaghan
the
goes
knee.
in on the shot. And he's going to be able to finish here if he runs the pipe, as he does, ending up in guard. You know, one thing I was just going to say, Johnny's got to be a little bit careful. He's standing too upright. And when you're going with a wrestler, you need to be a little bit more aware of those low shots. And this is where the fight, where Breaghan wanted the fight.
But Whittington, who is now in control on top with the black gloves and the red tape, took an enormous shot trying to dive in from Johnnie Lee with his knee. It caught him right in the face. Exactly,
yeah. He ate that knee straight up. And Johnny just did a great job of getting back up against the cage. And Whittington backs off and looks to re-engage. Very dangerous striking from Johnny.
Johnny looks totally different this year, or this fight.
He does, but again, he was standing up straight and Breaghan shot from far out, but it was an excellent finish. And now he's inside, up against the cage. For a fighter like Johnny, you don't want to take him down against the cage because he's very good at wall walking. He's good at getting his underhooks. You want to take him down in the center where he has nowhere to posture up and wall walk.
As both fighters make their way over, if you want to be up against the cage, you want to be up against the cage in your corner so your guys can talk to you. And that is a huge plus if you're ever in a bad spot.
Kevin, that's a great point. And now he's going to get real quality advice essentially whispered into his ear. And he doesn't have to worry about any sort of, not being able to hear or things getting miscommunicated.
Breaghan on top. Johnnie Lee on the bottom, Breaghan in total control in the red gloves.
Now, what he did there, he took his knee and he actually slid it across Johnnie Lee's midsection. That's how he was able to regain mat. And now he's putting his hooks in and flattening out. This is a bad spot for Johnny because he's trying to roll him over, but it's a very dense center of gravity.
And this is the difference between a wrestler and a striker right here.
Absolutely. Posturing up. Excellent shots landing there.
And as a wrestler, you probably got to feel pretty good when you convert over to the MMA. And when you're wrestling, you don't get to throw those blows.
You don't. But
great reverse by Johnnie Lee.
Excellent reversal by Johnnie Lee. Breaghan he postured up a little bit, and he didn't put enough weight. It was riding too high, and Johnny was able to roll him over. And I'm interested to see what kind of top pressure he has because he's long, and sometimes that allows him to get certain traps, isolating arms, isolating limbs, and then throwing very hard strikes from the bottom.
Let's see if Johnny can stay in control on this because you see him tucking his head underneath Breaghan's chin, trying not to catch that. But if you can stay tucked in, but he's getting pulled in and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, Whittington's got a very good grip, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. See, as you can see right now, he's trying to get his way closer to the cage so he can walk up is what he's going to do. And now he's going to transition. He's going to go for the reversal here as he walks the pipe. And it looks like he's going to get it, settling into side control.
Johnnie Lee trying to get those underhooks. Just can't get his arm underneath the neck of Breaghan. Let's see if Breaghan can pop his head out of there. He's going to be back in control of this fight. Johnnie Lee, look at the muscles right there. That's the end of round number 1, ladies and gentlemen. What a great second fight start as we got going here.
Yeah, Breaghan did a great job of closing the distance and getting the takedowns. And, as he saw Johnnie Lee was standing upright, he was able to get the takedown. And as Johnny was throwing strikes, you could see the power and accuracy he had. So that's definitely Whittington's way to win the fight. Get it to the ground, stay on top. He did slip up. He lost his top pressure, and he was reversed. And although Johnny wasn't able to do much with it, it shows that he's got to mind his P's and Q's when he is on top.
Now, we watched Johnny come into cage, but with his record of 0-1. Chris, you can tell us when Johnny went by, his confidence level looked a lot better.
Yeah, he did today, but that round was completely controlled by Breaghan, and if I'm over there in Johnny's corner right now, I'm trying to tell him something to get that confidence level back to where it was when he walked in the cage.
Yeah. All right, we get the seconds out. We'll get round number 2 started. Remember, this is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Don't forget also coming up, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to leave us at any point in time, make sure you get back quickly because you do not want to miss any rounds. This Cedric Gunnison fight coming up here at the end of this evening is going to be unbelievable, the co-main event. Round number 2 started here. Michael Dolman, the referee. They're both right out in front. Donegan right here. He has the red gloves on. Johnny Lee in the black gloves with the blue tape. Oh, a good takedown by Breaghan.
Breaghan, what he did great there was he threw a jab, changed levels, and secured the takedown. But again, it ended up against the cage, and Johnny does a great job. Beautiful transition. Excellent reversal from Breaghan. As Johnny was able to get up, Breaghan hooked his leg, rolled him over, and now he's in full mount with his hooks in, pressuring down. This is the position he needs to be. This is very difficult to reverse, and if Johnny can keep his pressure down like this, he's going to be in good shape.
Johnny Lee trying to roll that over. Breaghan on top, in control. Trying to get pushed off, but I think, oh, a good elbow. Couple of them to the face of Johnny Lee.
That one seemed to have cut Johnny. He's trying desperately to explode forward, and he did get it.
And another rollover. Great job by Johnny.
Breaghan's trying to bring his leg up for rubber guard, but against the cage, it doesn't seem like he's going to have the room to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to do something here, and the difference is, we talked about before, Johnny Lee is on top of Breaghan right in his corner, right in front of his team, which can actually, like you talked about, whisper in your ear, this is how you got to get out of this.
Yeah, and, you know, how to advance your position. What do? You know, they can see what Breaghan's going to try to do to reverse this and say, you know, left foot, or right hand, you know, areas where Johnny needs to control and prevent Breaghan from getting out of this position.
How does Johnny win this now? I mean, Breaghan, oh, a good right hand by Johnny. But, I mean, he's in control of this, but how does he go ahead and finish this out so we don't have a round 3?
Well, he's got to clear a leg. Right here, he's not able to get the leverage he needs. But you can see as Breaghan extends, trying to push off, he needs to take advantage of that and step over that leg. Once he steps over into half guard or side control, he could really posture up and do the damage he needs without having to worry about the threat of those legs and leg attacks like a triangle or an arm bar.
Great couple of elbows from Johnny Lee, right to the left side and right side, both sides of the face of Breaghan, as he is on bottom and looking exhausted. You're just on the bottom, and everything you have and every piece of energy is trying to get this guy off of you.
Absolutely, and you see that's what just happened. As Breaghan straightened his leg, Johnny was able to come over, and now he's looking to get into half. The only issue is he's riding a little too high. You can see the space in between his hips and Breaghan's, and that's going to give Breaghan the opportunity to get up here.
Breaghan Whittingham on bottom. He's got the red gloves on. Johnny Lee got the black gloves with the blue tape. He's in control. It's the round number 2 as we get close to the end. 10 seconds left in round number 2. Both fighters look really exhausted right now. Is that a cut? We see blood coming from Whittington's ear. Oh, he caught him again in that same spot. That's the end of round number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Now we got some blood coming out of the ear, and that doesn't look very good. That thing is opened up. I don't know if we can get a camera shot on that, but that thing looks opened up to me.
Yeah, there's a deep cut. It's actually right.
I mean, that is dark,
right on the sideburn.
Yeah, that is dark blood. I can't tell if it's from in the ear or if it's out of the ear. Maybe we can get a camera over there and see it if we can tell inside the corner of Whittingham. Michael Dolman's over there taking a look at that. I don't know if the angle is right for our camera to be able to see inside his ear. Dolman kind of stepped in front there. But the doc is out there to take a look at it.
You know, one thing that happened there, Breaghan started the round by faking the jab and having an excellent takedown and was doing well in control. He had his hooks in, he was pressuring down, and he was maintaining a good center of gravity. But then what Johnny did was he faked to the one side and then finished on the other, and he was able to get on top and then hold Breaghan down. What was interesting was Breaghan wasn't able to get the underhooks necessary to get back up to his feet.
You saw right there the replay of that, and the blood was already coming from the left ear of Breaghan Whittingham. All right, both fighters started round number 3, touch gloves right in the middle of the cage. Michael Dolman still the referee. The doc came out, checked out Whittingham. I guess he's okay to continue. I mean, that cut looked really bad. And he caught a couple of elbows as Breaghan takes down Johnny Lee.
Very good chain wrestling. The first shot didn't work. Johnny was able to stop it, but then he came back up, changed levels, and hit the the outside trip. And now he's looking to pass into half, and he's gonna try to slide that left leg over into mount. That's where he wants to be, and he wants to posture up and try to finish this fight.
So far, a pretty equal fight to me. Like, this is going to be, if
Absolutely.
I was a judge, these are the ones that I hate. I want this thing to be clear-cut.
No, absolutely.
This one is a tough one to judge right this very second.
Well, it's definitely going to come down to this round. And with Breaghan getting mount, he knows the tricks that Johnnie used. Johnnie didn't necessarily use anything super technical to get out of this position, right? He forced one way and then exploded to the other, which is effective. But once you do it once, it's easier to see coming. And he just put me to sleep because he did it right again.
I mean, that is a strong dude. You can just roll somebody over like that. You're totally exhausted. Johnnie Lee reverses it on Breaghan, and now he's on top and under control. Like we said, somebody's going to have to knock somebody out. Do not let this one go to the cards.
Yeah, and you know, that's an interesting point to bring up because at this level, you need to make adjustments, and that was an adjustment that he didn't make. Right now, though, he was able to get his leg behind and isolate an arm. So he's looking to get a triangle. You can see his feet in the back are hooked. To really create the pressure, he needs to actually grab that left shin, pull it down, and right behind Johnny's neck. And that's what's going to create the choke, because at that point, he could put his other leg over and create the pressure necessary. Instead, though, he uses it to reverse, and now he's in full mount up high with an arm isolated. That was a very nice transition by Breaghan.
Wow, what a move by Whittington as he is now in total control. Johnnie Lee at the mercy of Whittington.
He's using his lower body to
and
control
look at
him.
Johnnie Lee roll out.
Now, he's got to be careful, though, because his arm is still isolated.
Yeah, he's going to get arm barred here. You better be careful.
Now, again, ending up
and
in the same spot.
another rollover.
Breaghan's making the adjustment. He's going to get it here.
Johnnie Lee's just too strong.
It's very interesting that neither one is really able to isolate it, but now we got some issues here for Johnnie because the leg is up over the neck.
That's not the spot you want to be in if you're Johnnie Lee. Breaghan's really, if he can pull that in tight with 30 seconds left to go. Oh, he slid out. He slid out. Let's see if they got any gas left in the tank.
Breaghan came from underneath as Johnnie slid out. Very interesting transitions here from both fighters.
I mean, this is a chess match of all chess matches here. We've seen some fights before where guys have reversed some things, but not every move is a reversal like in this one.
Certainly hard to keep up with.
Now, Breaghan is back on top. Breaghan trying to put the moves on him. He's got 5 seconds, 6 seconds left in the round. Let's see if he can take under control here. If he gets the arm out, he's going to cut a couple of shots. Oh, a right hand to the face right as the bell rings. Wow, what a great fight. I mean, that was pretty impressive for a couple of guys that haven't really fought that much. But, I mean, just the reversals that you saw were just unbelievable. And if you saw a couple of the moves, but, I mean, the blood still coming from the ear of Whittington. Then Johnnie Lee on top, and then Breaghan moving it over and trying to get the triangle. Then he had the arm bars, and Johnnie Lee rolls out. Charles, what an amazing event we just saw.
Yeah, excellent transitions from both guys. And, you know, as we were trying to call it, we just weren't able to make that happen. And here you're going to see the first kick.
First
this is
round.
The very first exchange in the round. He walked right into that kick, but he still was able to finish that takedown. And this is the punch that cut open Breaghan's ear, I believe.
Yeah, it was. And he caught him. And the first kick we saw was the first 5 seconds of the round. And then you see Whittington's ear, and it looks like it's the inside of it. It doesn't look like it's draining out. And in the last round, as Whittington puts him down on the ground and tries to move him over, then you see the reversals, and it's a nonstop. Look at these reverses by Whittington. Just unreal, the amount of strength and talent and under the exhaustion that these guys are under. It's been pretty impressive. And you see Johnnie, just look, he's trying to get the knee over.
Yeah, there was so many close calls here where one fighter could be in a position and maintain the dominance, but the other just kept going and they kept rolling. And it was very interesting to watch because they didn't settle in. And I'm interested to hear what the judges have to say.
All right, let's throw it up to Chris Fuller. We'll get the results. We have got to stop turning off Chris's mic. I don't know why it's off. We know he's got an on-off button on this microphone. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We're good. Both fighters right now, we got a little technical difficulty after the windstorm that blew through here. We're working off a couple of generators, and this power is having a tough time. So the ring announcer's trying to get his mic to work. But I'm telling you, as we try to get this back into the situation of making things right. Okay, so it's tough for me to call because we don't have the card. Chris has the card. But if Chris will give me the cards, let me see, and I'll call it for the television here, and just to make sure before we go to break. So before Chris gets his mic back, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you the winner. The first judge scores the fight 30-27. Judge 2 scores it 29-28. Judge 3, 29-28. For your winner by unanimous decision, it is out of the red corner, Breaghan Whittingham. Whittingham, the winner. So when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we'll try to get these technical difficulties taken care of. But right now, Whittingham comes away with a huge win. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. CageZilla 50 right after this.